Alright, let's talk about the next chapter, slice and dice the task. So, as the name suggests, this is a very important technique to avoid procrastination. Because a major reason of procrastination is that, we feel it difficult to start working when we see a big project in front of us, right? But it becomes easy when, we tackle that project, big project, into smaller steps or small actionable items, right? So let's talk about this. So one technique that has been mentioned and which you can use to cut a big task down to smaller size is the slammy slice method of cutting the task down or getting your work done. All right. So what you do is you lay out the task in detail and write all every small step you would need to complete that task, and then you resolve to work on that small steps which you have written instead of tackling that whole job instantly. So now what happens is like you resolve to just have one slice of the job done. Okay, psychologically we find it easier to work on smaller chunk of task because we feel that it is achievable, right? So that's one technique. Now once often it happens once you've started and you start and complete a smaller chunk of task, it becomes easy for you to complete that bigger project in front of you. So that's about your salami slice method. Now, develop a compulsion to closure. What does that mean? So an important point here is we all have the urge to complete what we start. Why? Because it gives us a sense of pleasure, a sense of achievement, a motivation, a sort of reward, which eventually boosts our confidence, right? So this urge to completion is often referred to, the compulsion to closure. And now this means you actually feel happier. You actually feel more contented when you successfully close the task you have started, be it the smaller chunk of the task or the bigger project, whatever it is. Okay, and this actually motivates you to start the next task or the project and then to persist it towards the final completion. So that's the beauty of, urge to complete. And it starts only when you start somewhere. You start with smaller chunks and then finally get that big project done. Now, another technique which has been listed here is Swiss cheese your task. So we use this technique, to get ourselves into that first step of, starting the task, like punching a hole in the task. At least get started somewhere. Now, what you do here is, you resolve to work for a specific time period, and then it can be 5 minutes or 10 minutes. But you are actually taking a step to just punch a hole in the task to get started somewhere. So this technique also helps. Okay, you are taking just one bite of your work, and then eventually you will feel motivated to complete it. So both these methods, salami slice and Swiss cheese, these are wonderful ways to get started, especially if you are procrastinating, because psychologically we are afraid to start, right? So as per author, there are several friends who have become the best selling authors by simply resolving to write one page per day. So that's the beauty of these techniques. So let me summarize here. Put the salami slice or Swiss cheese technique into action immediately to get your bigger project done. You become action oriented by these techniques. Okay, and action orientation is the common quality of a high performance and high productivity. So that's about your chapter 18.